So I think the interesting thing is that apart German, I started doing German because I wanted to study German philosophy, and so everything I read is in German, and I have to teach in German uh, when I'm in Germany, and converse in German when I'm talking to philosophers. But I think the interesting thing is how um, sometimes I just learned new languages without any real reason, and then found out that they were really helpful for my work. So I started French without any particular reason for doing it. And then later in my life, I spent about 10 years working on Rousseau, and that required doing everything in French. Same is true in Swedish. I started Swedish for completely different reasons, had nothing to do with work. And then I realized, oh, well, now that I can read Swedish, I can also read Danish, so I can read Kierkegaard in the original, whom I teach. So I feel like you don't always know in advance how you're going to be using the languages.
Did you encounter any obstacles when learning languages, and how did you overcome them?
For me, the biggest obstacle was I wanted to pronounce the languages perfectly, and that was very hard. And so, what I did, sort of without really thinking very much about it, whenever I started a language, I would just, outside of class, when I was walking around on campus or doing whatever, I would constantly be trying out the vowels and the consonant sounds. And at some point, they come to you, you get them. But it's just like constantly talking to yourself and trying to reproduce these sounds, and finally you get them. And yeah, I mean, that to me was the biggest obstacle.